Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Of course, we got another video that's going to really have you on the edge of your seats. It's pretty much self-awareness and to just be careful where you go for anything.
Okay, so here's a story time about how Houston is a sick place that's full of maniacs. Okay, so yesterday I came to Houston. Mind you, I live in Dallas, to spend time with my family for Easter. But me and my cousin went out because it's like my birthday month. On top of it being my baby dad's birthday month, and he's no longer here, so I celebrate all month. Anyways, we went out yesterday to this place in Houston called Faces. The irony. So, I'm standing there minding my business, and this man comes up to me and whisper in my ear and say, "Little mama, go ahead and go in the bathroom and take your shorts off." And I'm like, because I got on all white, so I'm like, do I got some of my pants? But why would he tell me to go take them off in the bathroom? So I'm just being oblivious because I know I ain't just hear I know he's not insinuating what I think he is. So he was like, yeah, just play it off. Tell them you got to use the bathroom and my girl going to come behind you. And I guess she was supposed to be munching me. So at first I was about to get smart with him, but y'all are obviously maniacs and y'all are obviously crazy to come up to a random person and tell them to go and do that and put your mouth on a random person's bruh. So I was about to get smart with dude, but I'm like, let me just calm down because I don't want to get punched in the back of my bald ass head. So I'm like, listen, I appreciate the offer, but I'm okay. And he like, well, if you're okay, then I'm okay. I didn't even look back because he looked atrocious. So I know the girl was looking. So me and my cousin and my friend, we headed out. Didn't even look back, nothing. We just left and went to the next spot. Moral of the story, Houston, this is why your HIV rate is one of the highest and y'all got all these damn diseases, because stuff like that. That's disgusting. And to come and play with me and say that to me out of all these people that's in this bar right now, who do you take me as? Y'all got to be the haircut. It has to be, because they've been tripping ever since I got this haircut. Listen, girls, if you're in Houston and you go to Faces, I would recommend you not go by yourself, because it's obviously some crazy maniacs in there that's very hungry. Them and their girlfriends.
You heard it for yourself, right?
Thanks for sharing.
Shout out to Diamond. No, girl, it's not the haircut. It's those two piercings on display. But sometimes you just gotta laugh about certain things. But no, this is a serious situation.
After all, the place is called Faces. It's probably called Faces for a reason, right? I don't know. I'm just going off the top with that.
That's crazy. Like, she made a great point when she said, no wonder the STD and HIV rate is super high in Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, what is going on with everybody? And like, was that a setup, first of all? Was that situation really going to play out as he claimed it was going to play out?
If she would have agreed.
Or was that like a way to get her by herself, to stick her up? Was, who knows? Who knows what they were going to do?
It was just weird how he just went and whispered to little mama, go ahead in the bathroom and just take your shorts off. Who pull up on somebody like that? Like, I don't know.
Then again,
everybody G is different.
We talking about Houston.
They
G be a little off.
It ain't everybody. Listen, man. Everybody. That's the weirdest pull up I ever heard on somebody.
Yes.
That right there says.
Talk about
stalker.
Direct, right? Talk about direct. But nevertheless, it's like with the STI and HIV rate being one of the highest out there in Houston. like she said, who does he think she is?
All right, man.
You know what I'm saying? The numbers don't lie. I mean, right now, everybody needs to chill with the freakiness. If you're not locked in, and you're not married. No, if you're not locked in, you're not married to somebody or whatever the situation have you. Somebody who's genuine and pure. You know what I'm saying? You have to protect yourself. And now it's like I've seen, or should I say, I've heard so many videos just by like scrolling and stuff like that, where people are literally taking PrEP. Everybody wants to take PrEP just in case they screw up and they have an encounter with somebody with HIV.
It is a high rise of situations out there. I'm not, you know, cause that's just something that's unbelievable to even take lightly.
To fathom,
you know, like take that as a joke. It's like I know, you know, everybody might just say that it's out in Houston, but at the same token, everybody migrate from
place to place.
Some place to place, you know. It's like a lot of people from Atlanta went down there, and you know what I'm saying? Everywhere. They all travel to these locations. You know, like Dominican Republic, wherever it might be.
Dominican Republic has a high HIV rate as well. One of the highest as well.
Right.
Now here's the thing, right? Take into account. Remember when COVID first started? I don't know if like most of you was watching the news, right? And they said, oh, COVID is, I think at the time, I can't remember if it was Canada, but they had like 1 or 2 documented cases. Oh my goodness. In less than 3 days.
Right.
It seemed like, I mean, you think a wildfire spread fast? COVID had everybody and their mama cooked.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and you see how fast that happened. So imagine, it's the same thing with HIV, right? Atlanta, one of the highest rates. Dallas, Houston, one of the highest rates.
Yeah.
Florida, another high state with STI infections. And many others.
It's moving faster.
And it's moving fast.
Every friend of a friend got a friend of a friend. Everybody has somebody of a somebody. So it's like, it's trickling. It's getting around.
To the point where they're talking about you have to prep yourself now.
Yeah.
So now there's another new medication on the market. Listen, if you don't have,
if you gotta go through all that, just say yourself.
STIs or HIV or whatever it is, listen, and you locked into a relationship, don't let nobody persuade you. You or your significant other to go hit it here and get knocked here and so on and so forth, because it's so not worth it.
Yeah.
It's so not worth it. It's one thing to have like an ailment and you have to take a pill to sustain, right? Let's say if you have, hypothetically speaking, maybe a thyroid problem, and you got to take a pill, and now you have another problem, now you got to take a pill, and then who's to say your body or immunity wouldn't become immune to that pill, and now you have to change it and take something else. And it's just too much. And then you get in a relationship, and now you got to explain to this person, you got to take these retroviral medications, you got to take these retroviral medications to keep your quantitative numbers down or suppressed in order for you not to spread it. God forbid if you slip up, then your numbers go back up and then you infect the person that doesn't. Oh shit, it's too much work.
Now remember,
it's a lot.
Even though you might say that you're the type of person, oh, you get tested this, that, and the third.
Right.
You got to imagine who you may get tested for is not getting tested for everybody. And then after a while, things get to be a little bit comfortable, and then are you going to really keep asking to get tested every time? I don't think most of the people would consider doing that. They're just up in their head, we good, we checked last month or we checked last week. So every time y'all come into each other's presence, it's just about that business.
Right, and even if you say, for instance, let me see your results. Right. You're not married, so therefore you're not really obligated to stay tied to nobody, right?
Right.
And it's like, while you meet up, everything might be good.
You're going to be thinking that because you met up with that person previously and you got the results or whatever, that they still good.
Right, you might be, the other person might be dating. You might think it's exclusive, and the other person might be dating because as far as they're concerned, I ain't locked in, I'm not married or whatever. And then it's like they contract something and they bring it back to you. So in this like day and age, it don't even make no sense to just have casual sex.
Right.
Get yourself some satisfying toys
something
and handle yourself.
Something.
Because
something.
at least you be safer until you're ready to actually lock in. Take your time, find a committed person, and just live life in that way. But
you're not gonna come up pregnant anyway.
Exactly. With the toys, right?
With the toy,
because anything else right now, if I had to be like on the dating scene again, or if
I
I was
even
born
consider
right,
it.
or if I was born in this era, I think I'd be single for life.
Yeah.
Call me a nun.
I wouldn't consider.
I think I'd be single for life because it's just scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. The numbers are going up every second, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people, from what it seems, they're just more callous with themselves.
They're too curious. I don't know if it's in the water or did somebody take a pill.
They just have this don't care
saying?
mentality. And I'm thinking, right? Because when I used to work in healthcare, it was a whole different it was a whole different not genre, right? But demographic of people that had HIV. And it was predominantly white gay men. And it's like now it seems like more African Americans than anything else. And people from DR and certain places, and even the Philippines and Thailand, all these other places. It's like, my goodness.
Like I said, they migrate.
Like,
they
dang,
travel.
everybody is getting involved with everybody, and everybody is. And remember that song back in the days, who's zooming who? Yeah. Well, shit, everybody's zooming everybody at this point. A lot. And it's so much. They're doing
a lot of Wi-Fi connection.
Wi-Fi
Bluetooth connected. Bluetooth connected.
It's a lot going on, and it's just real scary. You know what I'm saying? It's just disgusting at this point because why is everybody just living life on the edge? And it takes me back to the point that I was going to make earlier. Is it because they have medications on the market? Right? Because I remember, like I said, back in the day, people were more precautious. Now, this other generation,
life on the edge.
They just like they call it living it up. They call it living their best life, but that's not your best life. You're not living it up. Trust me. And here's another takeaway from this conversation, because I love to give key points in order to give you some knowledge to make better decisions. A lot of people are living it up, doing whatever they gotta do, right? They don't care because, like I said, there's medications on the market. Really good medications to suppress, and you also have medications to prevent. So let's just say that the insurance companies who are paying for these high cost medications decide to discontinue today. There was a situation where I want to say about maybe 3 years ago, right? I'm Aquarius. I take things inside out. I analyze it from top to bottom. I leave nothing. No, how did it say, baby? No stone is left unturned. All right, and thank you. And like I was saying, imagine, right? About 3-4 years ago, you could look it up. The EpiPen manufacturer decided to raise the price of the EpiPen by, I forgot how many hundreds of a percent, right? Making the EpiPen basically unaffordable for most. It got to the point where, in order to start school, for those who are asthmatic, who may suffer from allergies and stuff like that, right? You got to meet with the nurse, and you got to bring that, when you start school rather, you got to bring that EpiPen in and all these medications and stuff, right? That year, so many EpiPens were not able to be afforded. To the point where, I say that to say, the insurance company could discontinue whenever they feel like it. They could raise the price to the point where the insurance companies are like, you know something? The pharmaceutical companies is what I'm saying, actually. Pharmaceutical companies could raise the medication so high in cost to the point where the insurance companies decide that, you know what? We're not doing it no more. Just like they did the EpiPen at one point. We're not doing it anymore. And then at that point in time, the same medication that's supposed to help your survival rate, what happens? What happens? Are you going to be able to pay $3,000 to $4,000 to maybe $5,000 per bottle for these medications in order to sustain your
livelihood,
your survival, your survival rate. Not even survival rate, like you said, your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that shit into retrospect. All I'm saying is, don't willingly go out there.
And do some shit knowing
dumb
that
shit.
You got this prep sitting in your pocket or something.
Don't willingly go out there and do some
home.
dumb shit and contract the shit and then turn around. It's like, fuck it. You know, it is what it is. I could take some medication. And the insurance, like I said, when you put yourself in that position, it's like the insurance companies, they have your ass. You ever seen a fish caught on a fishing line?
Yeah.
And they reel your ass in?
No matter how much you keep fighting,
if
you ain't getting
feel
off.
like it, they could throw your ass back in the ocean.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, don't put yourself in the lion's den or in the lion's mouth, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Protect yourself, take care of yourself, so therefore you don't have to be reliant on nobody's medication or reliant on anything. As much as you can, don't rely on anything or anyone. Rely on oneself. Take accountability, be responsible for your health. Ain't nobody gonna be as responsible for your health as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's real stuff right there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You ain't gotta pay for that information. That's real shit.
Pretty much.
Take it into consideration and make the appropriate decision. And that's about it. That's all I really have to say. You gotta take action. You know, take accountability for yourself. And listen, you got one life to live. You're not a cat. You don't have 9 lives. You got one life to live.
Yeah.
And make the best of it.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
And a lot of things are very carefully inspected when it comes to me. I don't judge anything from the exterior. I judge what's on the inside, how you carry yourself and all this other stuff. That's how I ended up with this beauty over there. You know what I'm saying? So that's another story. But
That's another story.
It is what it is. You know, it's been almost 20 years for us. So definitely I can honestly say, pat ourselves on our back that we're doing something good enough to be able to sit here before you guys and they be able to, you know, kind of like give you the best of our advice. We're not bragging. We're not talking down on nobody. We're not doing anything of such.
Yes,
We're just trying to bring self-awareness and let everyone know that it's a dangerous world out there. It's not as it used to be.
And a lot of us can be blinded. Not to cut you. A lot of us can't be blinded anymore because you have to understand these videos are out there for everybody to see. Back in our day, there was no videos out there to be seen. YouTube was not even around yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like me, I had gained my knowledge from working in the medical field. That's about as far as it went. And whatever I would learn, I would share it with friends and family members and strangers alike. You know what I'm saying? But now it's so out there. You have people that are willingly, excuse the noise outside, they're willingly turning on the cameras and saying what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. That they're going to meet people, they're going to screw them, they're going to make them contagious and all this other stuff.
I don't even know if y'all saw the girl that says she's
targeting.
She's targeting married men.
Yep. Any man, but predominantly
married men, because she want that married man to go home and spread it to his wife. Mm-hmm. And she's on social media.
And she looks disgusting, but
just saying
she has a vengeance at this point. How is she contracted and she has a vengeance?
As well as many others who have made videos in regards to that.
And another thing, really quick, right? Like I said before, like my husband said, I used to work in the medical division, and you have babies that come out the womb with that stuff.
Yes.
So like I used to counsel adolescents as well, right? And I would always tell them, because they would be between the fact of they're not sure if they should have intercourse. I'm like, you're 12. Like, who's even introducing you to that type of stuff? You know, and I used to always put them on point and stuff like that, right? As far as, don't even fall for the whole thing of, oh, but she's a virgin. She's a virgin. That has nothing to do with anything. Babies are coming into this world probably more now than even before with HIV and AIDS. Yeah. So if the parent doesn't disclose that to a child who happens to be a person who haven't had sex, that person could be spreading it and not even knowing it. Not to mention, you know, that young child, I can't even say young adult, but that young person may not even want to disclose because they want to have a regular dating life like everybody else around them, and they don't want to disclose it because they don't want to be ridiculed, and they're just not ready for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're just not ready for a lot of even adults are not ready to contract HIV and so on and so forth. So you have to be careful. I don't care if the person's a virgin, everybody gets checked. And secondly, don't take off the condom unless you're married. And if you're married, because people could step out of a marriage, make sure you're married to somebody who's solidified, because this shit is no joke. You know, whether it be a PrEP or a PrEP not, it's not a joke. They said the side effects of PrEP, as far as the mild side effects, because like I said, a lot of people are jumping on the PrEP bandwagon and they're taking it. But the question is, you try not to contract HIV, but then you know the side effects, and you have to understand every conventional pharmaceutical has side effects.
Yes.
All right. Mild and temporary side effects includes nausea, diarrhea, headache, fatigue, stomach upset, and bone pain and tenderness. Bone pain and tenderness. Why the bone pain and tenderness? Is it breaking down the bones? Is it going to cause some osteoporosis later? Who the hell knows, right? Rare and serious diseases include kidney problems, liver problems, allergic reactions, and lactic acidosis, which is a buildup of lactic acid in the blood. And other potential side effects will be weight loss, changes in blood sugar level for people with diabetes, and increased risk of yeast infections in women. So listen,
if that's what you want, you heard it here.
You could.
If you don't believe us, go look it up yourself.
Anything from a itchy cooch to nausea and kidney problems and liver problems. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I mean, to some people, this is better than catching HIV, right? And to others, the side effects, to others, they just take things and they don't know what the hell they're taking. So you have to be careful, because you might be taking to prevent one thing and end up with something else later on. Because this is a new medication.
That's the point I was trying to make. So they feel like, let me pop one like a Molly or pop one like an aspirin or a Motrin. I'm good. Really?
Trust me, I know people that took Motrin on a day-to-day basis, prednisone for whether it be asthma, autoimmune diseases, or, you know, as an anti-inflammatory for whatever situation. And prednisone and ibuprofen, aka Motrin, has turned around and given most patients ulcers. Bleeding ulcers, ulcerative this and that, and you gotta be careful, you know. So here it is, you think you're curing one thing and then you end up with something else.
Of course.
So it just goes back to what we were saying. You gotta be as safe as possible.
Self-awareness.
You gotta be safe as possible and continue to raise self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? And that's about it, you know. In regards to Diamond's situation, that was very crazy, but I also gotta commend her because she didn't react negatively, right? Yes.
I said that too.
Yes. Good job.
Right. She didn't make that situation into a worse situation, because some of these people, when they approach you, and that's all the time we see it, right? Like guys would approach you, a female or whatever, and you know, you go off on them and they end up beating you up, shooting you. Just because you don't want to be bothered.
Making things bigger than what it is.
There's mad ways that you could actually just defuse that situation, and I think she did a great job with that. Even though she did say that she was not interested, he was just like, okay, but he was still thinking like, you know, who do you think you are type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And those things you got to be careful, because a lot of people out there are pissed. They're pissed. They did majority of their life, they're getting tired of being told no. They're getting tired of being shut down. They're getting tired of being refused. A lot of these people, they're not getting satisfaction out of the relationship that they're currently in, so they go out there and they figure this shit out. It's too much, guys. Slow down.
Gotta slow down.
Slow down, man. Y'all,
if you want there to be a generation after the generation after the generation, you gotta slow down, because at this point, at this junction, oh my God. The generation is like, if it's not like, wow, if it's not people taking each other out, it's all these STDs and STIs and it's just crazy. Gotta chill. All right, y'all. So be easy with yourselves, and we'll see y'all in the next video.